Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about angles in the coordinate plane. This should be review for you as we start our journey into trigonometry this year. Okay, let's start talking about an angle. How do we form an angle? Well, we have two rays that share a common endpoint, and that common endpoint is called the vertex. And it forms an angle, which in this case we're going to call theta. The direction of the angle goes from the initial side to the terminal side, and you can see that I have a little arrow for theta drawn from the initial side to the terminal side. All right, let's take a look at if we put an angle onto the Cartesian coordinate system, because in trigonometry this is how it works. And you notice that I've drawn my theta from the positive x-axis to the green second ray. So the x-axis is going to be my initial side, and then the green is the terminal side. An angle is in what we call standard position if two things happen: if the vertex is at the origin and the initial side is on the x-axis. The direction of the measure of theta will be positive if it goes in a counterclockwise position, and it would be negative if it goes in a clockwise position or direction. So let's answer this question. I've put an alpha in here, and you can see that it goes from the x-axis in a clockwise fashion to our terminal side of our original angle. If theta is 200 degrees, what will alpha be? Well, you need to remember that a full circle is 360. So alpha is going to be a negative 360 minus 200, because if the first angle took up 200 degrees, then the rest of the circle would be 360 minus 200, but it's going to be in a negative direction, so it's negative 160 degrees. Now, let's go back for a moment and talk about the quadrants of the Cartesian coordinate system. The upper right quadrant is the first quadrant, and then it's numbered consecutively around in a counterclockwise method. And I've put beta on here and drawn my little arrow to see which direction beta is going. And the initial side is always along the positive x-axis, and the terminal side of beta is now in quadrant 2. Let's take a look at another angle. This is alpha. The blue is alpha. And so with alpha, the terminal side of alpha is in quadrant 3. So we would say that angle lies in quadrant 3. But what happens if I add a theta in here, and it's not on any, it's not in any quadrant. It's actually between quadrants. So we say that it doesn't lie in a quadrant. Theta here in this case is a quadrantal angle. The terminal side is on the on any axis. So you can have angles that are in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4, or in none of those, in which case they're going to be, the terminal side will lie on either the x-axis, positive or negative, or the y-axis, positive or negative. The next lesson is going to be measuring angles using degrees. See you then.